All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Get ready. This summer, the Arena League Sports is on ASAP Network. Tune in live on either the Tiki Live or Roku app, as well as your smart home TV.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Well, good morning, and welcome to the ASAP Network. This is ASAP in the morning, and when I tell you that we have an all-star lineup, we have the best lineup there is on any morning show, on any level there is. My name is Freddie Henderson. I'll be your host this morning. I'm joined with the one and only Jay McLevin. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, I'm doing well. I just have a small thing to say. The PGA right now is acting like a little kid stomping its feet in the corner, suspending 17 golfers just because they want to go participate in the live golf, the live golf tournament that they got going on. So PGA, get over it, man. Stop acting like a little kid. And it's great to have Chris Brown back on here. It's been a hot minute, and it's good to see him.
Good to see you too.
Before we introduce Chris, just want to say, Chris, we're glad to have you back. If you guys don't know who Chris is, he had a big part here at the network's growth in the beginning, and I still believe he still have a big part of this network as well. Chris, welcome to the morning show. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, I predicted Celtics were going to win last night. I also gave people a lot of betting advice. They told me they win a lot of money, so I woke up with a smile. I'm having very good this morning. Very good.
There you go. And the hardest man that I know in the network is Ron. This dude will pull up on the morning show literally at work in his uniform, working and talking sports. What's going on, Ron?
Don't tell my boss, though.
Hey, we promise you we won't tell him.
Chris, I had the opposite the other day. I told everybody the Warriors were winning. And then back. So, wish I had some of your energy.
There you go. And then we got one of the OGs on the show this morning, one of the guys that call himself an historian of the game, that knows stuff that even before Jay McLevin was born, because we know Jay McLevin is ancient history, but Conman was even before that. What's going on, Conman?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? Hey, I'm so happy to see my boy Chris Brown, man. That guy is very knowledgeable. Hey, Freddie, you went out your way. You got the best of the best right quick.
Hey, there you go. Hey, anytime I see Chris Brown, I feel a little bit smarter because you got to remember those real talk battles. I used to put them in his place, But,
Freddie, don't lie to the viewers in the morning now. We got to give them.
Hey, real quick, I just want to say that on this panel, Chris Brown and me both know way back in the day, we remember how headstrong, and we used to have serious battles about Michael Jordan versus LeBron. And Chris will attest. Chris will attest that there was many battles where Freddie was pissed off when I said how good LeBron was. I mean, Michael was over LeBron, and now how the tides have turned, Chris. You wouldn't even. This is like Freddie 2.0. You don't even recognize the new version.
So you mean to tell me, Freddie, now you're a Rams fan. You went from the New York Giants to the Green Bay Packers to the Green Bay Giants now you're a Rams fan. To now you're not LeBron's number one fan anymore. You're a Jordan guy now.
No. I love
Oh no, he's a Jordan guy. I got receipts. I got plenty of receipts. Hell, the whole damn network has receipts.
So now Jordan is better than LeBron. That's what you're telling me.
I didn't say that. That's Jay McLovin talking.
Oh,
No.
I don't know. I don't know this new Freddie, man. I don't know this new Freddie.
A lot of people don't, man.
Hey, I didn't say that. Hey, I still have LeBron over Jordan, so I don't know what.
No, Freddie.
Oh, Jay.
We'll let it go. I don't want to take the whole show up, but I'm going to start collecting receipts, and on the next show, it's going to be hell.
That's what I used to do. I used to put the receipt. Freddie knows. I used to put the receipts on the show. You gotta let the viewers know how much of a bandwagon Freddie is. You know?
Hey, Frankie, trust me.
Listen.
Hey, Frankie,
I don't like to say the word Benedict Arnold of sports, but he's kind of the Benedict Arnold of sports. I mean, that dude will turncoat quicker than shit.
Hey, Frankie, I tell you what, Jay do know I know what to get out of. He keep pushing my buttons. I don't want to go there, but he keep pushing those buttons. I do know.
I know. I can see Freddie getting pissed off. I'm gonna leave Freddie alone. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna sit in my corner.
Frankie, I see a comment. Last time I was on here, he was a Giants fan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I still think he's a Giants fan. He won't admit it. I think under that Rams shirt, there's still giant blue and silver. I'm not 100% saying that. So it's great.
A little love for Rodgers.
Good morning to all our viewers out there. We see you guys in the comments, see you guys on the stream. Make sure you follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube, and just check us out. We have a lot of great things going on. If you guys don't know, you see Mike Hughes in the comments. The dude's been doing a hella good job with Chicago Sky. He's been in the arena, getting live footage, interviewing players. He's doing his thing, but a lot of others on the ASAP Network as well, with grinding as well. And yes, we have Con Man on the show this morning as well. So hey, let's keep it going. Let's talk about yesterday's game, Game 3 of the NBA Finals, the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors. The Boston Celtics did win 116-100. Hey, Jaylen Brown, he got the tone started in that first quarter, scored easily 17, 18 points in that first quarter. And then, hey, the rest was pretty much, them keeping it pretty close. The third quarter, Golden State looked like they was about to make a run. But in the fourth quarter, Boston did extend that lead. Jay, what was your reaction to last night's game?
Yeah, man. Like I said, it was a hard-fought game. This is probably a little bit harder fought than most. I thought the Warriors did a good job battling back in the third. But of course, I just think the Celtics were just a little too much for them, and they couldn't hold on. To that 2-point lead that they managed to get back. Again, I want to point out, if you look at the tail of the tape, rebounds, Boston, 47-31, turnovers 12-17, and which is what Boston had. I think it was 19 turnovers in game 2 or it was the last game. I think it was game 2. So this one they had 12. So they cut their turnovers down. The points in the paint were ridiculous. It was 52-26. And if you look at game 2, it was just the opposite. Golden State was like 40-24. So, it just seems like on any given night, you don't know. I know Chris, he called it right. He had a 50-50 shot. He had wisdom there. He called the Celtics out. And kudos to those who betted on Chris Brown. I guess I would have, kind of bet on Chris. Chris, next time I need you to give me the call if you got the prophecy. But honestly, I think this game could have gone either way. I think it's really hard to say Celtics or Golden State because it just seems to be every other game is just a flip of the other game. So I don't know. I really can't give you a solid prediction on who's going to win. I still got the Warriors in 6. I'm not going to back down from that. But it's amazing how this series seems to go back and forth on their stat lines. It's almost like you can carbon copy and just paste the other team's name on it. I do want to say this, and I hope I piss Pride off with all due disrespect. he keeps saying Tatum is a superstar. Tatum's a superstar. I know a lot of people are going to say that Tatum probably is a superstar. In my opinion, just my humble opinion, when you go at 9-21, 9-23, you're not a damn superstar. And this is not the first time that he's done this in the playoffs. And I'm sorry, he is yet to break the 30-point barrier. And I think if you're not breaking the 30-point barrier, if your shooting is well below 40% or around the 40%, then in my opinion, that doesn't make you a superstar. So that's just my opinion.
So, Jay, I want to kind of challenge you on that because it's easy to say that he's not a superstar because he's scoring big points, but he's doing other things to help his team win.
No, Freddie, he's really not. He went 26, 6, and 9. That's to me. That's the 6 and the 9 are average numbers on the assists and the rebounds. But what else is he really doing? 9-21, Freddie. Jaylen Brown and the rest of the Boston Celtics bailed Tatum out.
But Jay, I disagree. Like we're seeing Jason Tatum elevate his game because we're seeing him get others involved. We see that shot not going down. He gets others involved. He's passing the ball. He's playing defense. We've got to remember, we have to give credit where credit is due to Andrew Wiggins that he's playing good defense on Jason Tatum. Now, I agree.
But you know what, though? But Steph Curry does the same thing. Doncic does the same thing. And a lot of other superstars, superstars, do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the fourth quarter yesterday. Steph Curry, what did he have, 2 points in that fourth quarter? But we see Jason Tatum knock down big shots when it mattered.
Well, hell, a lot of people knocked down big. Hell, Robert Horry knocked down big shots. As a Lakers fan, Robert Horry knocked down big shots when it mattered. I don't know if we put Robert Horry in a superstar, even though he has, had multiple championships with different teams. I will say this: the one thing about Tatum is Tatum can hit the shots. He can do all of the skill sets. The problem with Tatum is his production is very inconsistent. His production is very inconsistent. And I'm sorry, as a superstar level, you should be somewhat consistent, at the very least, on your shooting. And he is not that guy.
Jay, let me clarify something. I agree with you. I don't think Jason Tatum is right there on the superstar level, but he's not far off from it. That's my opinion. But I'm just saying that we can't get stuck in, because a guy not scoring 30 points a game, he still have an impact in the game as well. But to me, I'm just going to be honest with you. The last night game just showed me who wants it more. I'm looking at guys diving on the ground.
No, you can't say that, Freddie, because it's been every other game. Who wants it more? I think it's who wants it that given night. I mean, it's been back and forth, and the games have almost been similar. It's just flipped and take the teams out and switch them around. I mean, Jay, I don't know if you can say that.
So, Jay, let me ask you a question. Last night, Boston didn't look like they wanted it more. They wasn't the ones diving on the ground. They wasn't.
I saw Golden State diving too, so I can't.
Yeah,
say
but
I just have to
I'm just saying. So what are we gonna say?
What
are we gonna say if they split the series in Boston? What are we gonna say if they split the series in Boston? Because I gotta believe in my heart of hearts, Draymond Green had a very terrible performance. Look, he only had 2 points in 35 minutes. He had very little rebound, and he fouled out with 4 minutes to go in the game. So I gotta be honest with you. I think that Draymond's going to come out pissed off. I think Steve Curry is going to be Steve Curry and make the adjustments. And I think Steph Curry is not going to just lay down. He's going to come back and give you something. So I think that we will see a difference of opinion come game 4. Chris, and then we're going to be saying, well, damn, what happened to the Celtics?
Chris, what's your reaction to the game last night?
I mean, I'm not surprised I called it just like that. I said, in my opinion, I'm going to call them superstars right now because they're in the finals. And one thing about Jaylen Brown, he's been hooping this entire playoffs. Freddie, these comments are hilarious. And Jason Tatum's first.
Mike Hughes, I love Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes is hilarious. But I came out and said that the superstars, 2 superstars in Boston, has to come out and at least to combine for 50+. And they did that. I said Marcus Smart had to step up, and he did that. 24 points.
Yeah, he did.
17 shooting, 3 for 7 on the 3-point line. He did that. I will say this. About that Jason Tatum thing. He was 9 for 23, but I seen him evolve from becoming just somebody that can score to somebody that is getting others involved since he has the ball in his hand. Now, Jay McLovin, I agree with you that he has to play better. He has to play way better. I have not saw even though he had a good fourth quarter, I haven't saw a complete game from Jason Tatum in the finals yet. I don't count game 2 because he was nowhere in the second half. Right now, in my opinion, I saved that for the next topic. But when it comes to the Warriors, Draymond's Draymond. I don't expect nothing great from him. You know, Klay Thompson came out way better. This is the Klay Thompson that the Warriors need. The Warriors had their third quarter run, and the Boston Celtics were able to combat that. I mean, the only thing with the Warriors, Jalen Green took 15 minutes to miss a dunk. Listen, Mike Hughes, Jalen Green is one of the best young players in the game, and I'm just going to keep it at that. But the Warriors had the third quarter that they're going to have. They dominated that third. And, you know, like y'all said, the Boston Celtics came out in that fourth quarter like game 1, and they were dominant. I don't want to say it's a 50-50 series only because the Warriors' third quarter scares me. Their third quarter scares me. Like, they were down 18 and were able to come up to be up 2. That's a 20-point difference. If I'm Boston, I'm not happy right now being up 2-1. Even though you did what you had to do in the fourth quarter, I'm not happy right now because, honestly, you could say a lot if you're Boston. You could be down 2-1 right now if you're Boston. You could be down 3-0. That's just how it is. Don't be laughing because Freddie stole $40 million. He did. But listen, at the end of the day, Boston's up 2-1 like I predicted. Game 4, you know, I think Steph Curry is going to come out crazy. I think Klay Thompson is going to come out crazy. I think Draymond, I'm looking at a triple-double watch for Draymond in Game 4. I agree with Jay on that. I think he's going to come out angry. I'm looking for a triple-double watch for Draymond.
So,
Chris, all that was going to happen last night.
Hey, let me say one thing about Tatum real quick. I like Tatum's story. Tatum has a really – I read an article on Tatum and how he grew up and what he went through and how he got discovered at Duke when now the new head coach of Duke went there to scout a player. And Tatum is this tall little beanie skin boy on an alternate court, and he just happened to notice him. And then, of course, you know, he got invited to Duke. But if you know how Jason Tatum grew up, it was not easy. Him and his mom had one heater, sleeping in the same bed. They would leave the stove open to create heat. He grew up very, very rough. But they said, hey, go to school, go do this, that. He said, no, I'm gonna put all my eggs in one basket. Basketball is it for me, and I'm gonna commit to it. And he did. And I like the story of Jason Tatum. I am rooting for Jason Tatum. Like he said, I just want him to be more consistent at what he's doing and develop a complete game. And like I said, I'm behind Jason Tatum. I love his story. I love the perseverance that he's done, because not a lot of people can persevere to what Jason Tatum, if you really read his backstory, not a lot of people can persevere where he came from and how he came up. I mean, it's a hell of a story, and it inspires the hell out of me. So I am rooting for Jason Tatum. I don't want to think that I'm not rooting for Jason Tatum. I love his backstory.
Hey, Michael, this is going to be a big question, especially going into Game 4, because, you know, we did see Curry go down, diving on the ground with Al Horford. Re-aggravate that foot injury, so that's going to be a big question. But Chris, I want to piggyback on you, bro, because you mentioned Draymond Green. I don't know if you guys listened to the post-game interview last night, but a reporter came out and asked Draymond, and I'm not saying word by word, asking him basically, do you believe that you're focusing too much on your podcast, and then you're taking away from your focus on the court?
Oh, thanks.
I think
agree with them, or
I don't, because there's other things he could be doing that literally have nothing to do with basketball. Like he could be strip club Harden right now. He could be doing all the illegal things, but you know, in his off time, he's decided to do a podcast about basketball. So he's not far away from the game. He's still talking about the game. His mind is still on the game, even though I don't think he's spending too much time. I do think, because Draymond's a winner. You know, no, he's not a guy that's going to score 40 points. So he prides himself in playing winning basketball and doing a thing that's going to win. I don't understand how, because he has a podcast right now that's taken away from his mindset in the finals. I think that's idiotic, just looking for a clickbait. That's just my personal opinion, because it's not like the dude is a known scorer. Like, we know what Draymond is. He's going to be a hustle guy. He's going to get guys involved. He's not going to have the best stat line. So for everybody to go off his stat line, Chris, oh, man, that's funny. No, when you look at his stat line, you know, you're not looking at him have, you know, a Steph Curry type of stat line. You know what you're going to get out of Draymond. So, like I said, I think that was idiotic. I think that's somebody that's looking for a clickbait. That's just me.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of shut up and dribble.
Hey, I have a question. What did you guys think about? What did you guys think about when you saw in the third quarter, Steph Curry's coming up the court, hits the off-balance three, goes down on Horford's foot. The ball goes through the hoop, gets a 4-point play, and on the next possession, your boy Otto Porter comes up big with the 3-point, and it actually turns out one possession into 7 points. I'm just saying, if you look at that 1 point, when I think of a superstar, Freddie, when I think of a superstar, I do think of Steph Curry, because how many people hit that off-balance shot? I mean, it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, if you look at that one possession in that one game, it's probably better than anything you ever saw in that whole damn series.
I thought that one possession was going to win the Warriors the game. 7 points at one possession. I literally thought that was going to be the turning point. And I thought that was going to be a key factor. I mean,
yeah, me too. Honestly, I did.
Who wants to play for the Bulls back then, though, Mike? Y'all were sorry. Let's be honest. After Derrick Rose, y'all were sorry. Let's be real. Now I would say this.
I love it.
I would say this. If Lonzo Ball was healthy, y'all were literally my second favorite team in the Eastern Conference. I called that. I knew how y'all were going to be. I feel like if Lonzo was healthy, y'all would have went far in the playoffs. But let's be real. After Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler, nobody wanted to be there. Let's be honest.
But let me ask, okay, based off of that, Chris, if we go into next year and they stay completely healthy, no injuries or whatever, I mean, are we looking at Chicago as being a tough team?
They'll be a great first round exit.
Yes. No. I wouldn't say first round exit. I wouldn't say it depends on what they do with that bench, but I mean, you got all defensive guys and guys that can score. And Lonzo's become, from when he was with Freddie's Lakers and one of the worst shooters in the league, Lonzo Ball is one of the best three-point shooters. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA right now.
I mean, how far has Lonzo Ball come from day one with the Lakers to where he is now? I mean, he really has transformed a lot.
Hey, we talk about the NBA Finals, and Jay want to keep taking stabs at the Chicago Bulls. Jay, I know why you're doing this. See, Chris, you've been gone for a while. I know why you're doing this. You trying to get.
Hey, I haven't talked to Chris in a while. I like talking to Chris. What can I say?
I'm entertaining the comments, man. I'm entertaining the comments. That's all.
Ron's over there like, man, I've been working my damn blazer, and all y'all do is talking to Chris. Sons of bitches.
No,
hey, let's get Ron into the conversation.
Damn, Mike is going after Ron Hart in his comments.
Man, because y'all are provoking them. Y'all are hyping them up. Ron, what was your reaction to the game last night, bro?
Upsetting. I was expecting the Warriors to come out and be hungry and be the champions that we know they are, and they ultimately laid down. Had a couple good moments, a couple good stretches, but I didn't know Boston was this for real. I'm shocked.
Get that comment off the screen, Freddie. You got to get that.
Hey, question though. Hey, I know this is not a finals related question, but Freddie, we got to ask it. Look, we got to talk about it. It's not in the topics, but it is something to talk about. Look, Quinn Snyder has left Utah. There is a lot of doubt as to what they're going to do with that team. What if they do blow it up? What if, let's say, Donovan Mitchell goes somewhere, and then who's the center for that team? What's his face?
Trash Gobert.
Yeah, Trash Gobert. Like, where do you see these guys landing? And does Chicago or does even Dallas take advantage of that?
Donovan Mitchell is going to the East. You heard it here first.
The Knicks are the Heat.
Yeah,
or the Cavs. The Cavs got the young pieces for the rebuild.
Let me ask you a question. If you look at the Dallas Mavericks, Powell and Kleber really did nothing for them down low in the paint. I'm not saying Gobert's the greatest, but he does play really good defense, and he would be a presence down low for the Mavericks. If they can hold on to Brunson and bring in a Gobert, what does that do for the Mavs, considering how far they went in the playoffs?
The thing with Kleber is he stretches out the floor. So I understand the starting center, Powell, he does nothing. I'll be honest.
He really does. He does absolutely zero.
Powell's just out there because they don't want to start all those guards. But Kleber stretches out the floor. In my opinion, if I'm Dallas, I would try to get a Miles Turner. Miles Turner is the best of both worlds, defensive anchor, and he can stretch out the floor. That's just me personally. Yes, I missed the old days. My Joel Embiid jersey is hanging up. My signed Moses Malone jersey is framed. Listen, Sixers all day. They better than Chicago anyway.
Oh, I've just found a brother in you, Mr. O'Shea Jr.
I envy you, Chris. I do have a Moses Malone jersey, but unfortunately, it's not signed. So we'll have to talk offline and see how much money you want for that Malone jersey.
Come on, Jay. Chris, what did you say about the Chicago Bulls?
Sixers is better.
Sixers is better right now.
Mike Hughes, stand
I
up,
finally
my
got
boy.
some backup.
Mike, don't let that slide, my bro.
I
Hey,
finally got some backup for the Sixers.
Y'all got DeMar DeRozan. Now you about to give her to Zach LaVine. Where's the future?
They don't have one.
Exactly.
I've been trying to tell them that.
Now, let's finish out this show. I don't want to get too off topic, Mike. We can talk later.
But back to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the finals, Jay. You was giving some shade to Jason Tatum, which I don't understand his game anymore. How he has these high turnover games, and then last night 9 assists, 2 turnovers. Like that's an incredible superstar game by him. I don't understand why you didn't see it that way.
I mean, I think what it is.
Come on, stop throwing that superstar label like it's so easy.
He explained it well, Jay. You got to understand, he was first team All NBA. So when you're first team All NBA, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that superstar label. But I agree with Jay on the 9 for 23. I hate inefficient scorers. I hate people that score 25 on 25 shots. Hate is a strong word. I don't like watching basketball where it takes you 25 shots to score 25 points. And that was Jason Tatum. That's my only thing.
I just feel like, Chris, in my opinion, I feel like we throw the word superstar around so easily.
We do.
We don't really hold that standard for what a superstar should be. And if you don't have a complete game, why are we talking superstar?
But I think Jason Tatum has entered that realm. You're not first team All NBA for no reason.
Right, he's on the escalator up.
You're not dropping 40 points in the playoffs. You're for no reason leading your team to the finals.
But he hasn't, bro. He hasn't dropped 40 points in the finals at all.
No, not in the finals. In the play, you're right on the finals. He's been.
How many? Okay, let me ask you this: how many times has he dropped 40
in the playoffs?
Yeah,
I can look it up right now.
Please.
I think he's done it this year.
I'm just asking for a friend because last time I checked, Luka. In my opinion, Luka, Curry, Giannis, Embiid, those are superstar. LeBron, those are superstar kind of guys. And then I think you had that next level.
And he's leading the playoffs in turnovers. We can't forget that. But if he beats the Golden State Warriors, the Celtics win this thing, he is officially arrived. He gets the title.
He dropped 46 on Milwaukee.
Oh,
yeah, but I'm not saying he can't hit 40, but
I was curious. I really looked it up to see what his scoring was like in the playoffs. And I mean, I see 30, 34, 46, 29, 27, 31, 30. I mean, I'm with you. It's been very inefficient at sometimes, but I think his assist numbers are something to look at in this playoffs. That's my personal opinion. I think he took a big leap.
Let's get comment involved. Comment, what was your biggest reaction to last night's game?
Well, thank y'all for giving me some time on this show. You know what I mean? The comment is in the house now. I've been waiting patiently. What's my take? First of all, I think Green had a major impact on enticing the Celtics to play more physical, the physicality of the game. I think that his podcast, whatever it is, I think he came, he showed up nothing. Number one. Number two, Golden State had no inside presence whatsoever. If you notice, you all said Celtics had 52 points inside. To me, that tells me they had no inside presence whatsoever. And I love Kerr, but he didn't make any adjustments as far as putting some height inside the middle. Celtics were getting whatever they wanted. I'm glad that Klay Thompson came out of his bag. But, like I said, I got to go in the witness protection program, but it seems like the Celtics have more weapons. Right now, Pooh seems to be playing like a rookie, kind of, sort of. He's not playing up to his element, and I think that's hurting them as well. And I just feel that Boston, I don't want to say it, because I live right 20 minutes from Boston, so I think Boston, I'm going with the Warriors unless they come up with some kind of offensive weapons, because last night, if you notice, they put in there Looney and Green. Where the offense going to come from? You know what I mean? So, first of all, before I even go any further, I want to thank Frank, my boy Frankie, my boy Mike Hughes, Megan, Mike Samuel, because they tuned into the show, and without them, we wouldn't be anything. So I want to thank them as well. But getting back, I'm really upset with Green because I think he's helping. Everything's on him now, and it motivated the Celtics even to another level. And I think the Celtics, plus they have the home court advantage. And you get teams some confidence, it's going to be tough, man. That's my take.
All right. My biggest thing, if you look at the box score, Klay Thompson and Steph really didn't get any help. Outside of those two, Andrew Wiggins, he gave you 18, but it really wasn't effective.
That's a lot for Wiggins. I'm just
yes,
saying.
It is, but
that's a lot for Wiggins. 18.
Yeah,
with
it is.
2 blocks and 2 steals.
But to me, it is. But to me, when I look at Andrew Wiggins, it's his defense on Jason Tatum. It's more on his offense because he didn't allow Jason Tatum to go off to have that big game like Jay McLevin wanted him to have. And if you look at Golden State's bench, Jordan Poole only gave you 10 points. Porter gave you 6. But I look at a guy like Poole who needs to be that guy to come off that bench that brings you that energy on that offensive side. And, I would like to see him attack the paint a little bit more instead of him trying to fall in love with that 3 ball. When he see that 3 not falling in love, not falling down, start attacking the paint a little bit more. He was 1 for 4 from the 3, 4 for 8 inside the paint. So that's what I look at, him to be more aggressive. They need him to give him 15 to 18 points off that bench. That way you can spell Steph Curry at least some time, on the bench going into that fourth quarter. Because if we see that fourth quarter, between the third and fourth quarter, it was night and day. It seemed like Steph Curry was going out there. He was on a mission, and they wanted him to dominate, which he did in that third quarter. But I think the biggest mistake was Steve Kerr taking him out that last couple minutes, pressing him to the fourth quarter. And then they didn't have nobody to come in there and, can continue the offense. So if Golden State get another guy to step up, yes, they got to crash the boards, but they also need somebody else to step up outside of Klay, Steph, and Wiggins.
I got to speak on that real quick. You don't think sitting him out because he had 4 fouls was smart? I mean, I'm asking 4 fouls and he plays the whole fourth quarter?
I'm trusting him like Steve Kerr trusted him when he got the first 2 fouls in the first half. I'm gonna trust him with 4. Hey, Steph, you're smart. You're better than that. You have to be smart. It's the finals. It's not a regular game. The game is too close, and like you said, they made that run when he got that 3 on Al Horford and it turned into like a 7-point swing. The game is too close. We have the momentum now, and we're on the road. I'm trusting him in that situation.
But this is where I got to shout out Jay McLovin because he was right. It could be 50-50 because who knows? We know how Jordan Poole can play. Jordan Poole could have went crazy during that time when Steph was out. He didn't, but that was Steve Kerr's mindset. So I'm not mad at Steve Kerr for making that adjustment because that's what was working for him all year.
Right. So, one thing we haven't talked about is, and I want to kind of bring this to light, is this is a really big stat that we haven't really talked about. And for the Celtics, not that I'm going to hype on them, but the Celtics, Marcus Smart, Brown, and Tatum all had 25 and 5, or at that average, and that's the first time a trio has averaged 25 and 5 since 1984.
Since what team, Jay?
Was that?
Since what team and what players?
No, I forget who it was in 1984. I'm saying
Magic,
Smart,
Kareem, and Cooper.
It probably was the Lakers. I mean, we're talking about the 80s, so I'd imagine it was the Lakers. But again, first time since 84 that a trio has done that. So, hey, cats off to the Celtics, man.
All right, let's move to the next topic. Before we do, let's take a quick commercial break. So all our viewers, stay tuned, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. Love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got wealth, but I'm on my grind like park rails. I'd sell the shoes right off my 2 feet, then add one, that's a yard sale. Got dumb bars that be smarter than Harvard, Yale. Take your pictures elsewhere, you wanna be TMZ, I wanna be VIP. Quit pandering, I'm not answering cause I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. All of that bark and no bite. That's alright, not everyone can be the big dog. Take a walk, kick rocks, can't keep me out cause I pick locks. They hearing me knocking, I'll never be stopping. I keep this shit popping like lip gloss.
Make sure you guys check out Unscripted. They come live 3 days out the week. You can see Jay McLovin, Frankie, and Logan Sanders. To see a lot of great content from them. So check them out on the ASAP Network. Doing a lot of great work over there. But let's keep it moving, gentlemen. Let's talk about, as I know it's only been 3 games, but as of right now, who do you guys have as the NBA Finals MVP? I'm going to start this off. I have my opinion. Even though Boston have taken the lead, I'm going to say this. He's under the most pressure than anybody in these finals, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Curry. Because what's missing on that resume? That NBA Finals MVP. Because we've seen it when even before KD got there, Andre Iguodala got it over him. We see what happened when Kevin Durant was there. So this is the last thing that you can add to his resume where we can say, okay, he's that guy. But as of right now, he's my Finals MVP. And the reason why I'm saying is because give credit to Boston. Their defense is great. They have a great defense. You can give that credit to Udoka. He's done a hell of a job down there in Boston. And, he needs to give a lot of praise, a lot of love for the quick turnaround that he came in because, they was under Brad Stevens. And they made a switch. We got to give credit to Brad Stevens because remember when Brad Stevens, they removed him from a head coach. A lot of us criticized them for promoting him into the front office. So we got to give a lot of credit for that move because it seemed like it worked. I mean, it did work during the finals. But Udoka came and changed the defensive mindset. Marcus Smart's Defensive Player of the Year. I've seen a lot of people on my news feed say, hey, Steph Curry will not be able to go off in these finals. Steph Curry will not look the same. But, he's averaging 30. 30 in these first 3 games. He's knocking down a shot. Granted, we haven't seen a full game out of him in these finals. When I say full game, I'm talking about all 4 quarters. He's played 2 out of 3 fourth quarters. But last night he went missing in the fourth quarter, but still he's averaging 30. So as of right now, I have him as my Finals MVP. But number 2, I do have Jaylen Brown. He's close because Jaylen Brown mindset is what we want. We want Jason Tatum's an aggressive mindset. Somebody that's going to attack the paint. Somebody that's coming out and ready to say, you know what? I'm coming to put you on your butt. Hey, I'm coming to get you. Can't stop me. But I have Steph Curry. Ron, do you disagree? Or who do you got?
Steph Curry, his name is written all over it. And, the fact that the Celtics showed up last night is going to resonate him winning this Finals MVP all the more. And unfortunately, if Steph Curry gets his 4th championship and his Finals MVP, it's going to be another knock in the MJ LeBron debate against LeBron. Because we're going to be looking at LeBron like, okay, Steph just tied you, bro. Like, he came in the league how many years after you? And he got 4 chips just like you, King James? Oof. Steph Curry going to be jumping in this top 10 conversation big time. So, yes, I'm riding with you, Freddie. Steph Curry all day.
Comment, do you disagree or do you see anybody else?
I agree, but I think it's being put out of place. First of all, Curry definitely wants to get the MVP. That's one of the awards he's never received. But when you talk about championships, it's a team championship. It's not individual. So therefore, I have a problem with that when they say, well, you only won 4. If we're going to talk about the best player, top 10, that's individual. You're not talking about who are the best 10 teams. You're talking about who the best top individual design. So
Right.
to me, I think you have to.
And I agree, man. But I also look at who were leading those championship teams. Without a doubt. Like, who's leading it? Who's the system? Why were they so dominant? And it's freaking Stephen Curry. Like, the Warriors.
Okay, so what you got to do is you got to substantiate whether you're saying it's an individual or team. Because Will Chamberlain is the most. I know I go back. Hey, Jake,
Let's
he's
do it.
up on me.
No, say it.
He's
Say it.
had the
You wanna
most
take us
individual
back? Let's
career
go.
ever, but only won 2 championships. You gonna
Because
hold
he
that
got
against him?
dogged by Bill Russell.
Did he get dogged
No.
or did the team get dogged?
He got dogged by the team.
Wilt
See
didn't
what I'm
get
saying,
dogged.
guys? It's individual team. What you looking at? If you're gonna look at the individual, fine. If you're gonna look at the team, you
Yeah,
can't win
Bill-
by yourself, fellas. You need
You know
I
how many
seen the
records
tape.
Wilt broke against Bill Russell? So we can't say Bill Russell dogged Wilt. We can say the Celtics dogged those teams.
Will Chamberlain got 55 rebounds in a game against Bill Russell.
Come on now.
Check it out. Look that up.
Hey,
Notice
Chris,
that
I want to
comment,
introduce
They're
you.
not ready.
Chris,
I
I
know.
want to introduce
Hey,
you to.
Chris, you know
They
me how
went-
you know how me.
they
me and you
We're
went-
are.
on at the same time.
They went to multiple game 7s. They competed for decades. Like, of course, they were rivals. He should have a lot on Bill Russell. But when it came down to those finals, game 7, Bill Russell always got the upper hand against him.
Don't say
He-
Bill Russell. Say the Celtics. It's not Bill Russell. That's what I'm trying to.
Bill Russell had a great team. His team was way better, yes. But he was the centerpiece. He was the engine.
Hey,
Everything
Chris, I
worked
want to
around him.
introduce you to the ASAP's biggest troll in the network. His name is Damien, by the way, and I think you can tell why. He's our biggest troll here at ASAP. But hey, we respect him. We love that he keep lining up in comments. Hey, but hey, it is what it is, Damien.
No, I agree with him. Poole does have an opportunity to steal this Finals MVP from Steph, and they need him.
Okay, well, you gotta get drug tested, Ron. Chris, who's your finals?
You telling me if Poole, who's going to step up for the Warriors next game? It's the only person we can rely on is Steph,
Okay, so
unless Jordan Poole come give us a 40-piece and shock the world.
Chris, who's your finals MVP?
Jaylen Brown. Shout out to Steph Curry, but I mean, who's in the league right now? Like, if the Warriors were winning, I would give it to Steph. I'm not a guy that can always give it to somebody that's losing. Right now, if the finals at the end of the day, who is the better record? Celtics up 2-1. I'm giving it to Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown has been by far the best player on the Celtics team throughout this finals. I think he's proven to people that he's not just a 1B, to Jason Tatum. And sometimes he's looking better than Jason Tatum. People sleep on Jaylen Brown. I think he's a better defender than Tatum. I think he's just as good of a scorer, especially inside the three-point line as Tatum. He can get to the basket. The one thing Tatum that's been doing better is getting others involved. But right now, Jaylen Brown has been a phenomenal piece for the Boston Celtics. I think he's my finals MVP.
Chris, didn't he get worked by Draymond game 2?
Your point? What that mean?
Okay.
Steph's still
He hasn't
losing.
been all around. He hasn't been all around. Cause I get your point. The Celtics is up right now.
You right. Draymond did his thing, but shout out to Steph Curry.
You're
I'm not giving it to
1,000%
him.
right.
I'm not giving it to him. I'm not giving a participation trophy. When LeBron had that phenomenal finals performance, I was not giving him a participation trophy. That's not how I look at the game of sports. You win, you win. You lose, take the L.
All right, Jay. Who's your finals MVP?
I just got a few things to say.
Uh-oh.
The fact. Number one. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go back just a little bit to the Bill Russell and
Jay been taking notes.
Hold on. hey, go back to that and Chamberlain. I'm gonna go back to my old school Eddie Murphy Coming to America quote. Every time somebody's talking about Muhammad Ali, everybody talking about Rocky Marciano. I'm just saying. Whatever. It is what it is, okay? We don't live in them days no more. Both Bill Russell and Wilt were hell of five players. Let's just cut the shit. Okay.
Amen.
Secondly, the fact, and everybody, I don't think anybody on this panel is going to question Christopher Brown's knowledge of the NBA. Nobody on this panel is going to question it. He is a prophet by declaration.
Yep.
And the fact that he said Brown for MVP tells you and solidifies that Tatum's not a superstar. Okay.
Wow.
Having said that,
I love where this has went, Jay. I love where this has went. Now, I will say this. If the Celtics win, they're going to give it to Tatum. That's just NBA. But hopefully,
I know, bro. It's okay, Ron. Don't back down. That was a hell of a fight take.
No,
I appreciate it.
I'm sticking with Brown. I want Brown to win this thing. I think he deserves it. But
yeah,
I love where this is going. I got to hear this.
Yeah, I love where it's going too, because the fact that you said that, it just made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It was beautiful. But yeah, man, look, God, what the? Okay, if it is, I'm gonna say what Brown said. If the Celtics pull this out, I'm giving it to Brown just based on what he's performed and pretty much for everything that Chris said. I absolutely agree with. If the Warriors pull it out, how do you not give it to Curry? If that damn play where he hit that shot in that 7-point possession doesn't tell you how good Curry is for that team, then you're not watching basketball and you're uneducated. Curry will get the MVP if Golden State wins. And I do believe Brown gets it if the Celtics win. That's just how I see that.
All right, you guys. So this popped up on my phone just a minute ago. I don't know if anybody paid attention to Twitter last night, but Draymond Green's wife, Hazel, rips the Boston Celtics fans for chanting "F you, Draymond," as well calling other things. And she said, "Tough loss tonight, but in no way, shape, or form should fans be allowed to chant obscenities at players, or they are not human. If someone standing at your job saying I'll do all things to you, the NBA has the audacity to have a whole code of conduct card at every seat about fans and their behavior and how they could be ejected from a game or banned, but a whole crowd section, numerous people get chant F you, Draymond, call him a B word or MF and nothing. Like, that's okay. The Warrior fans would never. My kids was at the game tonight hearing that.
They would never.
So
there's a clip of
what is he what the Celtics will do? You want them to evict every fan out of the stadium? God, that's unrealistic. Okay, get over it, lady.
I need to find that quote so I can repost the fact that a Warriors fan, hey, LeBron, F you. What you mean Warrior fans would never? Now, let me say something. All fans want to do is get drunk, watch sports, and say those words. They're not going to do nothing. As long as they're not saying no derogatory terms, I'm all for the F you. You suck. That's what they sign up for. And Draymond loves it. As long as they're not calling Draymond something crazy, Draymond loves it. You didn't see him in Memphis egging on the crowd? Draymond loves it. There's Warriors fans saying F you, F you, F you. So let's not act like Warriors are this great, great organization. Their fans don't say nothing. Okay? Let's nip that in the bud. Let's nip that in the bud. Okay, listen, fans are going to say what they're going to say as long as fans aren't throwing anything, touching the players, or saying super derogatory terms. They should be allowed to do what they want. They paid for those tickets. You got to deal with it.
First, can I say something real quick? We're talking about how fans react to the opponent. How about when fans react to your own players? What I mean by that, I'm going to give you an example. Jay, I don't care. I don't care. Bill Russell won the NBA championship.
Oh, yeah, this is true.
Comes home, finds his house on fire. Okay, so here I go with my historical stuff again. But what do you think about that? Fans can root against the other opposing, but when fans go against your own players who just brought you home a championship, talk to me about that.
Fans are going.
That's why I don't like the Celtics.
Yeah, Boston fans are some of the worst fans, but I don't like how she said that she's trying to make it seem like the Golden State fans are just, they're just upstanding citizens. We're not going to do that. No. We're not going to do that.
Everybody has their rowdy fans.
Everybody has their rowdy fans. Don't be super upset and call out the fans because they lost. Like I said, look, I'm all for the friendly banner, the curse words, all this stuff. As long as they're not doing anything, putting hands on the players, or the super derogatory terms that we all know what they are, then I feel like fans should be allowed to say what they got to say. You don't want to bring a code of conduct form for players, and if they say, "Oh, you suck," you kick them out. What's the fun in that? You might as well play with music.
But I mean, it's a little impractical if the entire crowd is basically saying "F you." You're not going to kick the entire crowd out of the arena. I mean, let's keep it realistic.
But I don't think saying "fu" is bad. It's like when you make it personal.
Hey, for some people, use network as secondary language is almost the same as saying "Hi, how are you?"
Exactly.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce the legendary Rob Scott to the show. What's going on, Rob?
Rob in the building.
You know, Big Rob in the
AKA Barry White.
Hey,
Hey.
Hey, you know they love the voice.
Rob. Hey, Chris, I'll introduce you to Rob. When I met Rob,
what's up, Chris?
He was a Chicago Bulls fan when I met him.
Don't say was, still is.
He turned into the big E40 Warriors fan down there, and now he represents the Warriors. So, Rob.
Wait.
Hold on.
Can you put this comment up by Coach Evan B? Can we put it? Thank you. I want everybody to read that. That's the clip. I need to find this clip. The Warriors fans said that in front of security, and it went viral. But Draymond's wife had the nerve to say that Warriors fans would never. Did she say that? I don't want to misquote her and get angry. She said Warriors fans would never.
She said that she at the Warriors fans would never.
Okay. That's all I needed to hear. Hey, Coach Evan B, a salute to you. I'm glad that you know the truth too. But
no, Coach. No, this wasn't Clay. This is Draymond Green's wife said.
And this is no disrespect to Draymond Green's wife. Listen, as a wife, that's what you better say. She did her job perfect. You support your man and your man's team. However,
now, Rob, are you a little nervous that your Golden State Warriors lost last night?
Not at all. You see the head shake? No, I'm just mad. My prediction of them winning in 5 not gonna come true.
You had them winning in 5.
Yeah, it'll be Warriors in 6. It doesn't matter. You know what? What I will say is this: Draymond need to learn to shut up, because what he did was he lit a fire with Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen came out 17 quick first quarter point. You know what? The Golden State Warriors got to stop playing on their heels. Every time we look up, they're losing this first quarter, and they playing an uphill battle. Even though they had a superb third quarter yesterday, that was for them to play catch up. We got to come out swinging because Boston coming out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Freddie, before you start talking about people switching teams, I don't know. Chris don't know you well. So,
no, I know him well. I know him. Trust me.
Look. You know, Freddie was a Green Bay
Giants
New York Giants fan.
He was a Green Bay Giants fan. Don't worry. I have the receipts. Me and Freddie, I knew Freddie for almost 2 years.
Mike, we can't say Rams fan. He chose the Rams while they were in the Super Bowl.
Wait. I didn't know you switched when they. Wow, Freddie, I've never been more disappointed, man. I've never been. You know what? A part of me
at least said the Warriors was going to win the ship before the season started. Lord Jesus!
Hey, how did I know Mike Hughes? I guess he's not ready yet.
Come on, Mike.
I want to leave and go make my breakfast after that, Freddie. I can't believe you, man.
Are we talking about the Green Bay Giants?
The Green Bay Giants.
Mike,
I love the Green
how are
Bay
you doing
Giants.
this morning, brother?
A lot better than the Green Bay Giants, sir.
I don't know who the Green Bay Giants are, but
Green Bay Giant Rams.
I had a feeling Mike Hughes was gonna find his way on this show. I really did.
Oh, it's my guy. That's my guy.
What's up, Mike?
What up, man?
Yep.
What's going on, Mike?
I had to see Chris Brown. I only see Chris Brown on a show once a year, so I had to be there for the honorary appearance. It's a blessing to be in this man's presence. He's a busy man, so I understand.
Hey,
had to
Mike,
make time for my Chris Brown.
Shout out to you, Mike, though, man. I was checking out that Candace Parker interview, my boy.
Man,
he's off the hook. He's off the hook.
It was something.
Hey, don't mess with the diapers. Do not mess with the diapers in a private school because it is not going to happen that way.
No.
Hilarious. let's move it on because we got a lot to talk about in the NFL world, still with the Deshaun Watson situation. Before we get into that, because I believe this might be a long topic, let's take a quick commercial break and then we'll dive right into that.
Oh yeah. Hey, that was pretty cool.
Make sure you guys tune in every Tuesday evening for the Sports Sensays. We have our very own Alana Trapp, Ruth, and Jay Nicole. They do a wonderful job with their all-female show. They come on and deliver every week. One of the best shows on the ASAP network. So make sure you check them out. But let's get into it, you guys. The question is, did the Cleveland Browns make
Relax. We're not talking about the Bears.
I didn't mean. Hey, did the Cleveland Browns make a mistake to trade?
Shout out to Justin Fields.
For trading for Deshaun Watson. And let's go back to June. You know, let's just take it back. You know, June 8th, 2022, the Texans added as a defendant in lawsuit against Watson. That was yesterday. You know, there's just been a lot that's been going on since, you know, these last 2 years. And I'm gonna go back to the very beginning, and we're just gonna go over like the whole timeline of, you know, the situation. So here you go. I'm pulling it up right here. So March 16th, 2021, Busby announced he's filing a suit against Watson. He said on Instagram post he was filing a suit against Watson for alleged misconduct during women, but offered minimal details. So, you know, that was the first, you know, case. And then the next day, on March 17th, still 2021, 2 new cases are filed against Watson. March 18th, the NFL opens an investigation into Watson. And then on the 22nd, there's 7 more new cases. And then March 23rd, Watson lawyer accuses women of attempting blackmail against Watson. This is in 2021. And then on 29th, the suit alleges Watson is deleting Instagram messages. So they say that he's deleting messages. You know, and he said that, you know, him being as a Texas Houston, that he would get massages. In March 31st, 18 massage therapists defended Watson. So he did have some people come out and defend him. Then April 2nd, 2021, Watson under police investigation. April 5th, 22 new court cases are filed against Watson. And then 2 women go public with Publix. Watson, you know, 2 women came out public, reported their cases, telling their story. Apparently, they came out and said that it's not about the money. A lot of people, you know, claim, you know, hey, you know, we all say, hey, when these guys make their money, you know, a lot of people come after them, but they said it's not about the money. They just want everybody to know the real deal about them. April 7th, Watson lose multiple endorsement deals behind it because, I mean, at this point, your name is getting, you know, thrown under the mud, and a lot of people are not going to want to be having you part of their brand, but that's these kind of stuff on you. April 8th, Watson lawyers files a motion request plaintiff to identify herself. April 9th, the judge ruled 13 plaintiffs must identify themselves and refile the cases. So I mean, this has just been going on. April 14, 20 women ID'd themselves in court filings. Another woman filed suit against Watson. I mean, so we brought the cases up to 2020, 22. So let's just skip past it because there's a lot of been come out since then. On April 29th, Roger Goodell speaks out about the lawsuit NFL investigations. He come out and he says that we take that very seriously. Goodell said of the allegation facing the Texans quarterback, those are very concerning to us. So the NFL launched an investigation into the allegation just days after the first lawsuit was filed against Watson. Then he come out and say, we're obviously following that and looking at ourselves independently. Goodell said there are important steps that will have to be taken part of our personal conduct policy. When we get it to that point, we will certainly make a decision. May 21st, attorney for Texas owner Kyle McNair tried to mediate. So he tried to become the broker. July 26th, number of women to file police complaints against Watson is at 10 at that point. Okay, then on July 27th, the NFL says no restrictions on Watson as an investigation continues. So the NFL at this point acting like they're investigating as well. August 13th, NFL interviews the 10 plaintiffs accusing Watson of sexual assault. This is just crazy. August 18th, Watson has met with FBI but not NFL, lawyer says. October 20th, Deshaun Watson trade discussions serious but deal not intimate. So let's just keep it moving. Roger Goodell comes back out October 26th, says the league is still determining if Washington should go on a commissioner exempt list. He says there obviously are other legal approaches that are being made, either through the civil cases, Goodell said on the NFL owners meeting on Tuesday. Obviously, the police have been investigating also. We don't have all the access to that information at this point in time. We pride ourselves on not interfering in that, being as a cooperative as we can, make sure we get all the facts. But I think that the process is still ongoing, and until that process isn't ongoing, we have enough data and enough information to be able to make a determination of whether he should go on a commissioner exempt list. We don't feel we have the necessary information at this point. So the Texans now, March 18, 2022, the Texans trade Deshaun Watson to the Browns for a 22 first-round draft pick, 2023 first and third round draft pick, and a 2024 first and fourth round draft pick. So now, as of yesterday, speed up the process, Texas added the defense to the lawsuit against Watson. Based on what we learned, Houston Police Department, we will soon be joining the Houston Texas organization and others as the defendant in the ongoing lawsuit against Deshaun Watson. The statement read, in many cases, the Texans provided opportunity for these conduct to occur. The statement reads, we believe the Texas organization was well aware of the Watson issues but failed to act. They knew or certainly should have known. The Texans told the NYT via statement that they first learned of the allegation against Watson in March 2021, have cooperated with the investigation, will continue to do so. So, with that being said, should the Browns feel bad for trading for Watson? Do they look bad for trading for him right now? I'll go with you, Mike.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways that you can unpack this, and my take on it isn't as perfect as Tony Truth or Joe McDonald is. They had an amazing take on Jawing and Balling yesterday. They talked about all 66 of the women in the New York Times report, an article that just came out. It was a really good episode. So again, if you haven't checked that out already, definitely give that a shout out because they did an amazing segment on it, and I feel like they did its due diligence very well. So definitely check that out. But my own take on it, my personal opinion, it's one of those situations to me where I understand where Cleveland was coming from, because it's he said, she said, and you thought you were out of the woods with it. But it's also one of those situations to where we all knew, this is the end, but it could also be the very beginning of something new. So I think, Joe actually had an amazing comment about it, on how he felt about the draft picks with Watson, if he is convicted of what he is convicted of, or what he's been trialed on. I think the draft picks should just kind of be isolated. I think they should be taken off, and I think it's one of those conversations to where nobody should get them, because the Texans are in the wrong, because they obviously knew that there were more things that could have been coming up, and Cleveland's in the wrong because they obviously didn't do their homework well enough. I posted a meme earlier, and that's not to make a lightness of a dark situation, but it's basically like the conversations between Watson and Cleveland was, hey, did you do it? And Watson was like, no. And they're like, oh, all right, that's fine. And it's like, you really didn't do any homework. There's 66 women out there, and you didn't interview a single one of them. You didn't have a conversation with a single one of them. You didn't have a conversation with the law or anybody. You had a conversation with Deshaun Watson and his representatives. And in a case where this man might be going to prison, why in God's name would he tell you, nah, yeah, I did it? Like, that just doesn't make sense. It'd be like if Jay McLovin asked me if I robbed a bank, and he's trying to hire me to be a police officer. It doesn't make any sense at all. But it's one of those.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, 66.
It's a lot. And one of the big things, and that's why I say check out Jawing and Balling yesterday, because a big part of it for me, and I've spoken with Chris Brown and Chris Robinson and a few other individuals as well about it in the chat, is, for there to be 66 women and 40 of them will say it happened, they just don't care about the money. They just want the truth to be told. That speaks volumes to me, because it's not just money grabbing. It's wanting that truth out there. So I think that's a big part of it for me as well, is just, someone who's telling you, like, hey, I don't want any part of the social media aspect or the media aspect of it. I just want the truth to be told. And where there's smoke, there's fire, and there are 66 fucking fires right now, and I think they definitely have to figure that out.
Is there 66 fires or just 66 massages? Because I was told it was just 66 massages, but only 24 women have come out. So can we say that all 66 were sexually involved? I don't think that's necessarily the case.
The problem with it, Jay, is they've interviewed all 66, and all 66, or more so 60 plus, have said that it was a weird atmosphere, that he was on weird stuff, and he was just kind of asking for kind of weird treatments. And that's where it's like, they're all different stories, but if you read into that article that Joe McDonald is providing, McConnell, pardon me, it's a disgusting article. It's disgusting. It's very informative. It's a great read, but it's one of those things where it'll make your stomach turn, man. And all 66 of them are horrible, horrible interviews about how they endured their time with Deshaun Watson, and whether or not they were all the same magnitude of sexual assault or whatever it may have been. It's all bad. It was all bad.
No, I agree. And here's the deal. So if we go all the way back, if we really would take it all the way back, Miami, when the whole Brian Flores was trying to get Watson over in Miami, was kind of like against it or whatever. Miami probably, I hate to say it, but they did the right thing by not allowing Flores to bring Watson in, because Miami said, look, Deshaun, because they were going to make the trade. Miami was going to make the trade based on if he could get NDAs with all 24 women, and if he could settle his lawsuits. If he would have been able to settle the lawsuits and got the NDAs, Miami was going to pull the trigger and bring him over. But the fact that 4 women out of the 22 at the time, or 4 women out of 24, did not want to take the 100, because he offered $100,000 per person to settle the case. It was $100,000 and an NDA, and that's what he was asking for. And the fact that the NDA was so aggressive is what really turned a lot of the women, or at least the 4 women, off. Because out of the 24, all but 4 of them were willing to go ahead and do it. The 4 is what held it up, and the 4 is what kept Miami from being able to pull the trigger and bringing Deshaun Watson over. And if I'm Cleveland, that should be a headset in my mind. Hey, there's some issues there. And the fact that I got to be honest with you, now that the 2 women come out, one of them, the 24th woman, the last one, said that he ejaculated on her chest, and her face.
Wow. I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah. And matter of fact, he asked her, where do you want me to put it before he released his load? Yeah. So I got to be honest with you. I think Deshaun Watson, the least of the Browns' worries is whether or not, because I'll be honest with you, I think at the end of the day, the Browns are going to be able to avoid that $230 million guaranteed. And I do think they even get some of the signing bonus back. So I don't think the Browns kind of put themselves in a pickle, but in terms of the money-wise, they should be able to avoid that contract to get that money back and some of the signing bonus. The problem for the Browns is how do you reconcile with Baker in order to salvage your season for the upcoming? Because I got to be honest with you, I got a feeling Deshaun Watson, he may be looking at some jail time at this point.
Wow.
You know, this is never an easy topic to talk about, but the Houston Texans don't look that great in this as well. They look just as bad. You know, when that article says that, you know, the Houston Texans know they helped provided those arrangements as well, by even like some of those hotel rooms was in their name, so they kind of help assist them in a way. And that's just bad. And the best, you know, to a player, and maybe Mike Hughes or Chris will be able to answer this better because Mike played sports. Chris is he's in school now to play sports. But as an athlete, do you really need that many massage therapists? I mean, over a 17-month span? I mean,
hey, wait a minute. That don't make no damn sense, Freddie. Look, I'll be honest with you. If I had the money that they had, I'd get a damn massage every damn day of the week. How many massages you get doesn't matter. It's the conduct in which you do it, right?
Exactly.
Jay, I think you got it twisted on that one because being someone who's played professional sports and at JUCO level, it's that conversation of Chris, I can't speak for you, bro, but I trust one person with my life in certain situations, whether that be my weight trainer, a massagist, or a physical therapist. You know, you have your set people that you follow until you find someone you like better. But you know, Joe and Tony went into it. 66 women over a 17-month period. That's one massage person a week. That's a new person a week. And Jay, I don't care which way you put it. You don't need a new one every single week for 17 months straight. That doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense, especially with the volumes and the degree of you being an NFL player. You need a strict individual, whether that be a physical therapist, a trainer, or something along those lines. To have a new person every single week, that's shady to me because that shows me that you were doing some weird shit every single time and had to get out of Dodge with that individual, deleting messages and doing all this other stuff to act like none of it ever happened. For me personally,
I don't know, man. What about one of a massage? What about one of massage and the person I normally go to isn't available? I mean, come on, man. What, you gonna tell me I can't still do it?
Hey, Jay, they got this lunch. It's a beautiful thing called a team trainer.
There it is, because all my massages come from team trainers. More than likely, they're gonna come from a team trainer. You're playing for a professional team. You don't need 60 plus. I agree with you, Jay. There might be instances where you want to switch, but all that doesn't add up to 60. Now, I'll say this: I have not really dived into this situation because I was very, very busy. So I don't know all the particulars. So I don't like speaking on it because it's such a serious topic. I just know from a football standpoint, I believe 2 years ago Deshaun Watson was the second best quarterback in the NFL. And the way it's looking right now, he might not even play in the NFL again. And there's nobody to blame but him, his camp, the people around him, and organizations that allow him to do this. Flat out. Because the more I hear y'all talk about it, I'm going to go look for myself because it sounds very, very sketchy. And at first, when it first came out, I'm like, hear a lot of talking. Where's the evidence? And that was months and months ago. Months ago. The more time goes on, the more evidence and stuff that I'm starting to hear, articles that's starting to come out that's starting to, you know, make Deshaun Watson look a certain way and make it seem a certain way, and things went down a certain way. So it's looking bad right now. That's all I can say. It's looking really, really bad.
Hey, fellas, there was 22, then 24, and then as Jay stated, he was going to sell them for $100,000 for each of the women, and then 2 days later, all of a sudden, there's 40 more. What do you think about that?
Think about that. Here's the point about that though, man, is those other 40 women don't want money, and they've flat out said that. They don't want to be involved financially. They don't want to be a part of the media. They just want the truth to be out. So for you to sit here, if Chris Robinson or let's say Joe or Tony wanted to sit here and say that Freddie was on something sketchy and Jay McLovin's suing him, but Tony and company don't want to be a part of it financially or in court, that doesn't make their story any less invalid. It just means that they don't want to be a part of the buying a lawyer or being a part of this or having their face prosecuted on live TV. You look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard being a national TV segment the last 4 months or the last year. Some people don't want to do that because, again, these aren't millionaires. These are just individuals who are living everyday life, and they have a story to tell. So I feel like a big part of it is, if every single one of them wanted the money, then there's that conversation of, okay, why didn't you just come forward in the beginning? But for you to sit here and tell me, I just want the truth to be out, that's a different conversation.
But it's a little bit more. To me, it's a little bit more because let's say, Deshaun Watson, he's proven guilty. They get him and all that, okay? He get punished. But it should have just stopped there, in my opinion. The Houston Texans should just deserve to get punished. And I don't know what type of punishment that is, but they got to pay for that.
Not to cut you off, Freddie, but those picks that they received from the Cleveland Browns should just be wiped. They shouldn't get anything.
Even more deeper because they had to know what was going on. They had to have some type of idea.
That's why it came out right after he asked for a trade.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, because it's civil, because they already had the investigation, the criminal was already.
What I'm saying is, man, is they say, okay, Deshaun Watson, you're guilty. We're kicking you out the league. You get prosecuted, whatever the legal side decide to do. I don't care about the legal. I'm talking about just the NFL. NFL want to say we're banning you from our league. The Houston Texans, yes, I agree with Mike. Those picks should go away. They should void them, but something else should happen as well. Because what did you do before the trade? What did you know before you got rid of him? So I believe there's something else that should take place before that as well.
If Deshaun Watson's going to lose his life for this, Houston Texans should lose a lot just as well. I'm thinking as crazy as they should lose the team.
Well, Joe also made a great point on the show last night as well, Joe and Brown, that Deshaun Watson the truth. But the Houston Texans is the second person knows. I agree with Mike that the Cleveland Browns should have dived into the situation a lot deeper than they did, because instead of asking on one side of the situation. Rob, what's your whole thought process on this, bro? Well, I guess Rob might be at work. Ron,
I'm here.
What's your whole thought process on this situation?
I also want to know where Ron is going. He looks nice today.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
It's one of the few times I've seen him without the safety vest on. It's crazy.
Oh no, it's on. Gotta represent. This Deshaun Watson stuff is mind blowing. It literally could just leave you speechless, which I think a lot of us is. We kind of just been listening, and I feel like we all hit on good points on it. And there's the morality of it, like. Yeah, he was getting, I don't know about all of you, but I've been to a massage parlor before. I know what it's like. I can understand him. And he developed an egregious fetish for it. And he went to a massage parlor every week for 17 straight months. Or he did this all in a spree and was just up to some crazy stuff. Who knows? And the fact that this has been out so long and it just continues to build, like people are getting added into it, how it just jumped like that. When we've had these main 24 women for almost a year and a half now, no criminal cases have been put out yet. It's kind of just been sitting in limbo. Then we got the whole Houston Texans aspect. And then we got the damn Cleveland Browns not looking into it and not even caring. Just like, we're going to get Deshaun Watson. We'll sell our soul. And it's just, I hate to see the athletes go through this stuff when they, work their entire life dedicating it to a career. And like we've been saying, his camp, his people that were around him, his family, fellas, make sure y'all check y'all circles.
And stop thinking you untouchable. I think that's
Hey, let me ask you a question though. When we're talking about the Houston Texans, when we're talking about the Houston Texans, from what I read, and I haven't read all of it, but from what I read, okay, yeah, did they make the smartest decision setting him up, in a hotel for massages? No, obviously they didn't. They should have had it at the facility, and they should have just kept it at that level. But at the same time, I have a hard time thinking that the Houston Texans knowingly had known that Deshaun Watson was going to do this stuff. I think they made a poor decision, but I don't think they contributed to what happened. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they made a bad decision, but I don't think that, these guys should be punished because they set up a hotel massage, whatever. I don't. I mean, I don't think they had legitimate knowledge that he was going to do that. I don't think the Texans knew that. Did they make a bad decision mentally? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with it.
Jay, I got to ask you a question, bro. You're an owner of a team, okay? Your star quarterback, he says, hey, and you know you're not going to catch on to anything suspicious about a different massage therapist every week. Like, it's not the same one. It's 60 different women.
I wonder if the Houston Texans had knowledge of all of that. Like, if it was a different massage therapist. I don't know how much they actually knew. You know what I'm saying? Or if they were just trying to appease their quarterback.
Bro, it
comes out now, but then when it was actually going on, did they know it was 66 women?
I just find it hard that they don't know. I just find it hard that they didn't hear anything. They didn't know anything. But I mean, who knows? And aren't
the Texans named in the lawsuit though as well with Deshaun Watson?
Well, I believe they called them. I believe they have to testify. I believe that's where they're at on that.
So they're not part of the lawsuit. They're just going in as a witness or to be
giving their side of the story.
Question. Okay.
But it's just a sticky situation, and Ron brought it up. I believe that it's funny right when this man requests a trade, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that the Texans had anything to do with this. I'm not blaming anybody or anything like that. But I'm just saying that it's real funny how all played out.
Really?
Well, I mean the fact that they traded. I'm trying to understand, Freddie. Are you saying it's funny that they traded him to the Browns so quickly? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that it's funny that a lawsuit popped up as soon as he requested a trade from the Houston Texans.
Back in February, back when it was,
I get that. It is weird.
It was sketchy. I remember I was in Tampa for the Super Bowl, seeing everything on the news, and everything was sounding, real sketchy. But as time goes on, I don't know if it's sketchy anymore. Like, it's too much. That article that Mike was talking about, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to have a better opinion. But the more I hear y'all talk, is the more I'm just lost for words of this whole situation.
Right. And I think a big part of it too is you look at how they handle JJ Watt, you look at how they handle D-Hop, and they want the bang for their buck. So it's nice to think, okay, well, maybe it's not Deshaun, maybe he's getting blackballed, maybe he's getting set up. But it's also that conversation of what does Houston even gain out of that? Because then you have that conversation of you had to sit him all year, you got less for what you wanted than what you would have if you would have just not done that. It doesn't make any sense for you to do that because it just destroys your trade value and what you're going to get back for Deshaun.
Yeah, it's a tough, it's a sticky situation.
In this situation, you got to stop saying sticky situation, dog. Like,
especially since it was on the face and the chest.
You just got to stop. You got to stop.
You're right. It is a bad situation to be in. And my thing is, like it has been the beginning of the thing, if he's guilty, he deserved to do the time. He deserved all the punishment. I'll still stay with that. If he's innocent, they find him innocent, and it's true, I do, but I've seen every case. I believe the people that is accusing him, that has lied on his name, they deserve to be punished as well. But if he's guilty, he deserves to do the time. He deserves to be away from the league and all that. But so I guess we'll just have to wait and see, and see where all this world out. But let's take another quick commercial break, and we'll get in a little bit more of a debate style, more fun topic. Make sure you guys stick in and stay tuned to watch Drawing and Brawling with Tony, with Joe, and with Mon. They do a great job every Wednesday night covering the NFL, college, everything football, doing football. So make sure you tune into them. They do a wonderful job. Like Mike said, they did a wonderful job last night actually breaking their story, talking about the whole Deshaun Watson situation. So if you want to go watch a little bit, dive in more, and go a little bit more detail, go back, pull that episode up, and they do a wonderful job. Let's bring it back to the NBA. Let's talk about dynasties, the greatest dynasty in sports. Do you guys believe the Golden State Warrior is the best dynasty in the NBA? They won a championship. I'm talking about this Warriors team. With the Steph, Clay, and Draymond. They won in 2015, 17, 18, and they're back now, have another chance to win. Do you guys consider this the best dynasty in sports? Jay McLovin.
I'm sorry to cut you off real quick, Jay McLovin. Freddie, you just said this Warriors team was Steph, Clay, and Draymond. When they were their most unstoppable, you're forgetting one person that was on that team.
No. I'm talking about with the KD era too.
Okay. I mean, all right. I just want to point out, Jay, you can go first. You have the floor because I already know what I'm going to say.
Because I don't think anybody thinks that this Warriors team is the greatest dynasty. That's just impossible. I mean, given what the Bulls have done in their dynasty, given what the Celtics have done during that time frame, and they won what? I think it was like 9. Historian, you probably know better than I do. They won like 9 to 11 back to back with Bill Russell and their dynasty. I mean, that was the best dynasty. Let's be honest. That Celtics, Red Auerbach, Bill Russell, that was the best dynasty ever. Nobody's ever going to top that. But yeah, I mean, hell no. I mean, look, it's a great Warriors team, no doubt about it. But greatest dynasty, not even in the top. Not even close to being in the top. There's several. I think the Lakers had a good run. Celtics had a good run. Bulls had a good run. And those are 3 that are better than what Golden State ever did. Now, I would put probably Golden State after those 3, but definitely not at the top.
Don't ever ask me some disrespectful shit like that ever again in your life. It's the Chicago Bulls, hands down. If you're going to have that conversation, bro, they won 73 games. That's cool. They didn't win a championship. You lose to Kawhi Leonard. You lose to the Toronto Raptors at that Kyle Lowry's fat ass. Then you lose to LeBron James, down a 3-1 lead. Come on now. Be better. Be better. With Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving as his role players, J.R. Smith, Kyle Korver. Come on, bro. LeBron did that basically by himself. I don't want to hear no ands, if, or buts about it. You go 2 3-peats, and if Jordan doesn't retire, you probably win 8 straight because Akeem Olajuwon wasn't like that. To be able to take that.
Hey, hush your mouth, Mike. Hush your mouth, Mike. Mike, hush your mouth.
Hey,
hush your mouth, Mike.
Just know we handed him his championships. Just know that Jordan allowed him to win. But
No.
with that being
Hush
said-
your mouth, Mike. He didn't allow shit. We can't speculate on hearsay, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. So hush your mouth.
Yeah, and if Jordan
This
played,
take that I gave you, the Bulls had a great dynasty, okay?
hey, I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know how it goes down. But you know, my boy had to go try out baseball for a little bit, and he did pretty decent at that. So, you know, it's obviously the Bulls, the Showtime Lakers. Obviously, like Jay said, it doesn't matter what era it is. If you're basing it off of the word dynasty, what Bill Russell and the Celtics did was beyond belief. You know, to have 11 championships, that's something out of its own. I don't think anybody's ever going to be able to top that. If you're basing it off of what a dynasty is, it's the most consecutive wins in a short period of time. To have 11, I mean, that's a conversation in itself. So I think the Warriors are definitely, I would say, a top 5 dynasty, and I'd probably put them at 5. And that's just being completely respectful. And that's only if they win this year. If you tell me you only have 3 championships, it kind of is what it is. But we've seen teams do that in the past. I mean, you even have Kobe and Shaq who were more consistent. So,
and it wasn't even a three-peat. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of great teams out there, and that's why I mentioned Kobe and Shaq, because even they three-peated in their little dynasty, and the Warriors are kind of just every other year type of case, except like Chris Brown said with KD, and I'll let him handle that, because I was kind of blasphemy that you didn't bring up KD as well, but it's definitely
I meant KD. That's why I said in 2015, 17, 18.
I think you were just trying to butter up Draymond, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
No. Connor, man, we need an historian on this topic, sir. Is the Warriors the best dynasty in the game of sports, the NBA? You're muted, sir.
You're muted, sir.
He's still muted. Con man, you got to hit the button. There you go.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
I'm good. All right, let me tell y'all real quick. The Boston Celtics are the premier team to have a dynasty. And I keep claiming, and Jay gets mad at me about me being a historian and all that. But when I had the opportunity to talk to Sam Jones 2 months before he passed away, and I'm telling you, my whole recollection about me being a historian is thrown out the box. I'm going to go with the Celtics. I'm going to go with the Lakers, and then I'm going to go with the Bulls. The Celtics dynasty, and to endure what they had to go through, makes it even so much more important, folks. When you win a championship, again, Jay, get mad at me all you want, but when you win a game, you can't go eat in a hotel with your team. You can't sleep in a hotel with a team you just won a championship with. So, for what they endured and all the problems they went through, matter of fact, there was no first class back in the day. They had to have second jobs. All that, I'm going to take that. I know I'm history. I'm going to go with the Celtics. I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm going to go with the Bulls.
Can I ask a question?
I know you will.
Because I had to come back just for this conversation. I had to join just for this conversation. I'm at work right now, but I joined just for this conversation. Are we saying who's the best franchise, or are we saying who's the best dynasty?
Well,
question is
dynasty.
So if we're talking dynasty, there's been no other greater dynasty than the Chicago Bulls, led by D. Michael, Jeffrey, Jordan.
I'm surprised at you, Rob. You claiming the Bulls again?
Rob Scott is a Bulls fan first, sir.
Mike Hughes
represents.
Would you tell him, Mike?
No,
I got
Mike
Chicago
Hughes.
people after me right now.
Hold on, Mike Hughes represents Chicago. Hey, he don't switch up. You, sir, you the E40 of the Golden State Warriors.
I told you if I'm E40, then you G40. That's all I'm saying. And what I'm telling you guys right now is what Michael Jordan did was simply amazing. To get a three-peat with a first big three of Mike, Scotty, and Horace Grant, retire and go play baseball, come back and get a second three-peat, replacing Horace Grant with Dennis Rodman. Are you guys crazy? You want to talk about dynasty? You don't start that discussion without mentioning the Chicago Bulls, led by Michael.
I get what he's saying. I would say the Celtics have the most consecutive wins in a row, and that's what makes them a great dynasty. But when you look at the quality of the Bulls dynasty team, I wonder how they would fare against the Bill Russell-led Celtics. And I think, and I gotta agree with what he said. I think Rob Scott's Bulls probably does beat Bill Russell's Celtics. I just do. I think that team was special. It really was.
They 100% busting their ass.
Can we talk about this real quick? I want to apologize for my generation for calling all the other generations plumbers. I don't like how my generation does that. I find it hilarious, but I cannot compare the 90s Bulls to the 60s Celtics. We all know what's going to happen. They're going to run them out the gym. The play style is different. Everything's different.
Right.
But
thank you.
With that being said, shout out to the Celtics. First of all, the question: the Warriors not even close. We're gonna get the Warriors out here. They're not as good as
Not yet.
No, I would say this: if they win this championship right here, and you have 4 in the past 7 years?
No, it'll be 6 final trips in the last 8 years. That'll be 4 in the last 6.
Yeah, okay, then listen. Hands clap to you, but that's not enough. That's not enough. You want to be considered a dynasty. I mean, you either going longevity. Like I would say the Spurs, that's win 5 in a 20-year span. You just a consistent team for 20 years. You go that longevity, or you go like the Bulls, 6 and 8. Either way, the Warriors not there yet. Now, who I think is the best, I gotta go with the Bulls simply because back then in those Celtics era, there's not 20 plus teams. There's a handful of teams. Then I look at the difference. There's no disrespect to those Celtics guys. Right. Those are legends. They had 8 Hall of Famers on one team. We're never going to see that again. Shout out to the Showtime Lakers. But in my opinion, you do 6 and 8, and your best player takes 2 years off, and they come back and then they win. I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm just going to be honest.
All right, and Chris, you are you are the legend. But I'm gonna try to end this real quick.
Okay.
How many years did it take Jordan before the Bulls won?
6 to 7 years. 91.
Okay. How many years did it take Steph Curry to win a championship?
What,
4 years?
About 5, 6 years.
Okay. How many years did it take Bill Russell to win?
Okay, you got it, man. You got it. It was shorter. But
the Celtics had 8 Hall of Famers on that team playing against a bunch of plumbers, bro.
No, we're not gonna call them plumbers. We're not gonna call them plumbers. We're not gonna call them plumbers.
Oh, now you're gonna get me. Oh, don't go
there.
We're
not gonna call them plumbers. Listen,
don't be calling
Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor the plumber?
No, that's my point.
Nah, but his teammate worked on a couple toilets.
Jerry West, he's the emblem of the NBA, dog. Come on now. Oh, man.
And Jerry West should not still be the logo of the NBA. I just want that.
I'm not saying he should or shouldn't be. I'm saying he is.
I do.
There's some things about nostalgia and history that I still like. And I don't mind Jerry West being the logo. I mean, but again, I can see an argument for Jordan.
I get that, Jay. I mean, some old school guys still think Big Daddy Kane is the go-to rapping. That's all I'm saying.
I love Big Daddy Kane. Don't you say anything about him.
Oscar Robertson gave him the stamp. That's all I needed to hear, Rob. Oscar Robertson said he was the truth, the man, the myth, the legend. Each dynasty has no unique characteristics, unfair to compare eras. But it's not unfair to compare dominance throughout the era.
And I think that's where Chris was going with it.
And I wasn't discrediting. Yeah, I wasn't discrediting the Celtics' dominance.
Right.
I'm just saying.
A big part is like there. To Chris's point, I'm in between. There were plumbers, but there were some hoopers for real.
Yeah.
There were some hoopers, and I look at today's era as well though. Like the Chicago Bulls, Chris Brown kind of took a shot at me when I wasn't on the air earlier, and mentioned the Bulls in the last 10 years. And when I look at Cristiano Felicio or Ryan Arcidiacono and certain individuals like that, you just have to look at it and be like, they're not too far off from some of the guys that were in the 60s. So those guys, they might be a little bit more athletic, a little bit more well-rounded than the raw game that was in the 60s.
Oh.
But it's definitely.
I love this show. I'm ready to go again. I'm going to hit you up with another one.
Wait, before you go, and Mike, before you say that, you gotta understand the difference of evolution. That's why I don't like comparing, because you drop a Wilt Chamberlain in today, Elgin Baylor in today, Elgin Baylor might be LeBron.
Exactly. It's just a different era of what humans are like. Like I feel like were a lot more athletic than like I look at respectfully, and Jay McLovin's about to blow a gasket, but I don't think Babe Ruth is all that in today's modern day MLB. I just don't. I think he's a great DH. But I think at the end of the day,
you're right. Because when's the last time I seen a guy go up to the plate completely drunk and blast it off of his gourd and still hit a freaking home run? Shut your mouth, Mike.
Yeah, against guys pumping 60-mile-per-hour fastballs. I really don't care. I really don't. Mike Trout's the GOAT, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Mike Trout is not the GOAT. You don't go 0 for 21, 0 for 26 and call yourself a GOAT. Shut your mouth, Mike Hughes. The blasphemy is real.
Hey, can I say this? Freddie, really quick before we transition. Imagine Chris Brown. I want you to imagine this really quick. Take a walk with me. Close your eyes. Imagine going 0 for 26 and still batting over 300. That's amazing to me.
He's not batting over 300. He's batting 274. Shut your mouth, Mike Hughes.
Imagine being
the GOAT. You blasphemous. Go back to Chicago.
This is a great show. This is a great damn show.
Imagine hating greatness.
Atmosphere.
Hey,
274, Mike. 274. Go look at it.
Just know, Jay.
274, 300. That's 26 basic points different. Shut your damn mouth. Go take some math classes.
Sir, you can either move
Chris
with
Brown, I know you just got your degree. Could you please set up some appointment times so that Mike Hughes can get some math pointers? You are the prophet. Prophesy his ability to figure out 26 basis points.
Hey, sir, just know, Jay, you can either move with time or get left behind. That's
I'm pretty sure I'm moving with time. I've been moving with time since you were sperm in your daddy's nutsack. Shut your mouth.
That beard is telling me otherwise. It's looking a little gray over there.
Beard, Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes, you mess with my beard. I'm sorry, can't grow one.
Look, he's losing his voice. It's only 10 in the morning. That's crazy.
I know, right? Hey, folks, before we
completely lost control of the show, by the way.
All right, I'm ready back in. I'm going back to the corner where I belong.
Before we transition, someone brought up the point about, well, there was only 8, 9, 10 teams back in the day. How many teams are there in the NBA?
30.
Okay. So it's kind of watered down. Now think about it. You go play 8, 10 teams like the NBA was. You don't know you play them 6, 7, 8 times a year. Don't you think it's a lot harder to play against somebody that knows you and you know them? As opposed to playing 30 teams where if you're from the East Coast, you play a West Coast team one time a year.
Not when 6
this
of
where I have
those
to
teams are
disagree.
ass.
Exactly. Thank you. Not if you have 8 Hall of Famers and another team has a bunch of nobodies. Then I feel like, come on now, 8 Hall of Famers against some. Now, some teams, granny, have some good teams back then. You know, the Lakers, the Warriors, all that stuff like that, the Sixers. Yeah, some good teams. But we can't sit up here and say every single team had a loaded squad and it was good teams versus good teams versus good teams. No, there was a team above everybody else and everybody else fell in line. And there were some teams that were so down low that they don't even get mentioned in that era.
That is true. And that's why the NBA had to get the ABA 4 teams to put it towards the NBA because the NBA only had 8 teams back in the day. And then they recruited the ABA and got, at that time, made it from 8 to 12. And then
an abundance of talent came over from the ABA. Abundance.
Yeah, 4 teams to be exact, but that's okay.
All right. Well, let's continue. Let's keep it moving. As you guys seen the other day, that Joe Madden just got fired.
Yeah.
Fuck Joe
Do
Madden.
you guys? What do you say, Mike?
Nothing.
You said fuck Joe Madden.
Do you guys see any other MLB managers being on the hot seat, being let go anytime soon?
Any guy named Joe. Apparently, Joe Girardi, Joe Madden, everybody named Mama Joe's getting fired. It don't matter. But to attest to that, I just want to say, because I was watching one of the ASAP shows yesterday where they talked about Joe Madden. Joe Madden's a dog shit manager. And I'll break it down for this very reason. Back in the day, he was cold. He did great lineups. He did great matchups. He did everything amazing. But what the Chicago Cubs, personally, could have been, the problem with Joe Madden is he gives guys days off. He allows guys to do whatever they want. He allows guys, like Jay McLovin said, to go 0 for 26 and to not really help them or contribute to anything to help that slump end. The big part to me is inconsistent lineups. You throw in guys, lefties and righties to do these matchups. Let me tell you something, Freddie. And I'll tell Chris Brown the same thing because he's a hooper for real and he's an athlete himself. If you got a guy pumping 105 miles per hour and he's right-handed, But you think, oh, well, maybe if I throw in this lefty who throws 60, who's never even played in the MLB before, maybe that'll be a greater matchup, and maybe then I'll look like a genius. You throw in the fucker who throws 105 because he's better. That's just the reality of the situation. But Joe will throw in the lefty who throws 60 because if it works, he'll look like a genius. And that's why Joe Maddon gets fired. Joe Girardi gets fired just because, honestly, I don't know why he got fired. It's just one of those conversations. The Phillies don't put money into that starting rotation. But
the Phillies suck, and I don't even watch baseball. They my team. I'm going to roll with them. I don't know nothing about them.
They don't put enough money into that starting rotation. They could have as many bats as they want, but at the end of the day,
they put all the money on offense because they do have one of the highest payrolls. But like you said, they put none of it in their bullpen.
Yeah, if you're down 10 in the first inning, I don't care how many bats you have, it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we get so hell bent on putting money on these, on the offensive side of the ball that we forget that the defensive side, the pitching side is probably one of the most critical points that there is.
Yeah, I look at the 2019 Nationals. To me, they were the pivotal of what it takes to win a championship, and that's pitching. You can obviously have bats, and guys are obviously going to be able to do their thing. But what the Washington Nationals did, they had great key pieces. They had Zimmerman, they had Rendon, and obviously a young Juan Soto. But the majority of that, Scherzer, Strasburg, and all these other individuals that were in that starting rotation, they were just aces. They had 5 aces on the mound every single night, give or take. And at the end of the day, when you have that, you could win a championship. And frankly, the Phillies haven't given a shit about that since the early 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Freddie, I want you to bring up that comment right there. I need to hear
Damian.
Yes, I need to hear Mike.
I'll tell you right now, here's the problem with that. It's complacency. Joe Maddon won that championship, and I've had coaches like this, maybe Chris has as well. I feel like guys who are good at giving speeches, it only goes so far. 2016, you're great at giving speeches. You're the fun coach. You're the cool guy, kind of like a player's coach. When shit gets to the wall and shit's on the fan and you're backed up against the wall and you need a guy that's going to be able to take you out of this situation or make you better, and he can't provide that, that's what's going to kill a dynasty. That's what's going to keep you from going forward. When you have Addison Russell, who's struggling mentally and physically and having all these issues off the court and off the field, it's that conversation of what does Joe Maddon do for you in that moment? When you have so many inconsistent lineups and you're just trying to find something that works, it's hard to do that when your GM and your manager are trying to be the smartest guys in the room rather than just find something that works. It's that conversation of matchups and ruining the game just because you want to be the smartest guy in the room and say, hey, I made that decision and it's because I'm smarter than you. And then in reality, now you're down 3 because, like I said, Chris Brown's throwing 30 miles an hour, but he's left-handed, and I think I'll look like the smartest guy in the room if it works, and Chris Brown allows 3 home runs, then I look like a jag. And that's where Joe Maddon, all respect, I'll forever remember the 2016 season. It was a beauty, but he killed himself, and he shot himself in the foot with that because he didn't – and I'm someone who works there. I was there every day. The conversation is this. They never had practices. They never did anything. They would have, team practices here and there. They weren't allowed to warm up before games because he wanted them to be fresh when they showed up. That doesn't make any fucking sense in the world. But it's like, just show up to the game. Don't stretch. Don't do anything. And now you're wondering why Anthony Rizzo's back hurts 5 games into the season. But it's that conversation of a player's coach, to me, needs to still be educated at the same time. And Joe Maddon wasn't that. He rode the 2016 wave. He had all the Binny's beverage commercials. He had everything going on for him, and he just forgot about the game, and he screwed that for himself. It could have been, not to say, Jay McLovin and I have talked about it. He's humbled me. Maybe they wouldn't have been a dynasty, but in 2017, they should have ran it back 100%.
Mike, that's why you the man. You the king. But the question was, are any managers in danger of losing their job? And I think unless you're Popovich or you're Belichick, anybody's game.
I mean, did anybody else want to touch up on this topic before we move on?
I'm really kind of disappointed in Tony La Russa, what he's done with that Chicago White Sox lineup. I kind of felt like, he hasn't gotten enough out of that lineup. I feel like he's got a better lineup, and he's just not getting enough out of it. So for me, I think Tony La Russa should be on the hot seat.
Yeah, I think that's similar to Girardi, though. You don't spend money.
Yeah, no, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, you just don't spend enough money on the team. It's kind of like here's a piece of shit and I'll make it work. And it's like they're doing all right, but if you don't spend money on pitching, then you're going to be in a bad situation.
Let me ask you this: do you think Tony La Russa is still? I don't want to say. Do you think he's still relevant in today's game of baseball? Because I kind of feel like Tony La Russa is a great coach, no doubt about it. But I just don't think he's in touch with today's baseball.
I think in his first season, he won a division championship and lost to the Houston Astros, pardon me, which were a great team. And I think, he's done a lot with a little. This lineup is always injured. This lineup is always inconsistent. And they lost every single positive that they had in free agency and didn't replace it with anybody except A.J. Pullock and a bunch of relievers. And the problem with having a bunch of relievers and no starters is these relievers are coming in to save the game or close out the game, and you're still down 10. So that kind of defeats the purpose. And then you have your lineup. Eloy's hurt. Yohan Moncada sucks. All these other – I'm not just saying that because I hate the White Sox. I love – and you know how it is. Hey, I'm representing ASAP. If I could talk about good baseball, I'll talk about good baseball. But both Chicago teams look like dog shit right now, and it's because they're not spending money. And that's the reality of it. So I can't be mad at David Ross or Tony.
And let me just say this real quick. On the flip side of that, and I'm not just saying it because I'm an Astros fan, but I really got to believe, given what, when A.J. Hinch left the Stros during that time period, they brought in Dusty Baker. And at first I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know if he was going to be the relevant guy. I knew Dusty was a good coach, but I gotta give props to Dusty Baker, man. For as old as he is so still relevant in the game. And the guy's just a hell of a good coach. And we lost Carlos Correa. We lost Springer. We brought up a couple of guys, and this team is still rolling, man. I mean, I just think Dusty Baker is a really good coach, and I just want to throw mad props his way.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody bang your trash cans, and congratulations for Dusty
Shut
Baker.
your mouth, Mike. We're not talking about that.
Oh, my bad.
We have a few more minutes before we move on. Mike, can you tell us?
No, hold on, wait. Mike, hold on. Hear me out. Why do we never talk about New York and the letter from Manfred and what the Yankees did, or what Alex Cora with the cell phones did? Why do we not talk about that?
Because I don't care.
Okay, that makes sense. So basically, the Astros are living in your head rent free because you felt to say that, but the Yankees are obviously having to pay money to get that.
Here's the way it works. Here's the way it works, Jay. See, the Red Sox cheated, the Yankees cheated, but they still sucked. So if you cheat and you suck, then I let it pass because I feel bad for you. You cheated and you won.
All right, Jay. All right, let's keep it moving. Mike, let the people know what we have coming this Sunday, debuted, and tell them what we've been working on behind the scenes, bro.
Keeping it a buck, Freddie, I have no idea what you're talking about, so I would love for you. I would love for you to actually be the one to talk about it.
Wow.
Well,
I wasn't prepared for this conversation.
Well, I did put him on the spot. That's my bad. The All Sports All Plays Network have one of the best baseball shows coming. They're out there. Mike, you want to take over now? You can.
No, that's cool. No, you're good.
Okay. We have 3 guys. The show's going to be called 3 Up and 3 Down. We have guys that's, very qualified to talk about the game of baseball. They'll be going live this Sunday, 8 p.m. Central. Tune into the show. It's going to be hot. I'm going to be watching so I can learn as much as I can about baseball.
I'm glad you say you won't be on the show because we know you don't.
I won't be on the show. I'm not qualified to be on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's not allowed. Not yet. Not yet. He'll get there. He'll get there one day.
Yeah, one day. I'm not there yet. I promise you I'm not. But, tune into the show. It's going to be hot. I promise you.
Yeah, my bad, Freddie. I just be doing a lot, so I didn't know which direction we were going with that. I was going to say
No. It's my fault. I did put you on the spot, bro. I did put you on the spot.
There's a touchdown cruise. A lot of shit going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, bro. But last topic, and this topic might be the hottest topic of the night. What player influenced the game the most in NBA history? I'm going to do a round table. I'm going to let Jay go.
Mike, go back to me. I'm going to go last. I can't go right now.
I'm the moderator.
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Chris.
Magic Johnson.
Oh,
Magic Johnson's my answer. Because after Magic Johnson, look at all these tall guards that's coming out. After Magic Johnson, look at all these power forwards that want to come bring the ball up like a Charles Barkley, like a Chris Webber. And now we see all these guys like a DeMarcus Cousins, like a Nikola Jokic, big guys, they're able to handle and pass and distribute and run their team. Magic Johnson played point guard, but let's not, sadly, forget what he did to my Sixers where he had to start center and probably put up the best final stat line of all time. Comment, you know what I'm talking about. Freddie, I don't know. You're a little bandwagon guy, so I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But
you know I know.
My answer is Magic Johnson. I feel like Magic Johnson changed the game by saying you don't have to be a 6-foot guard, a 6'2" point guard. You know, you're 6'9", you don't have to automatically be a big man. He was a 6'9" ball handler. I have an honorable mention. I hope I'm not stealing nobody's answer with this honorable mention. It's Dirk Nowitzki. That's my honorable mention.
No, I don't see it. I don't see that one, but okay.
Hey,
you don't see all
you had me at Magic. You had me at Magic, but then the honorable mention of Dirk.
So we don't see 7-foot guys shooting threes now all the time.
Hey,
I'm just asking.
As a biased
I said honorable mention. I didn't say my second choice. He's definitely not my second choice. I was just showing love to him because now I see guys like Jaren Jackson Jr., 6'11", that takes 12 3-pointers a game and only 2 layups. It came from somewhere.
Second there.
Oh, no. Number 1 is Magic. Number 2, I don't want to say it because I think it's going to be somebody's answer.
All right, Ron, who's your most influenced player of all time in the NBA?
LeBron James. Bait your mama.
Who do you say?
I'm going to just keep LeBron James.
Oh, hell no.
Woo! Ron, you my guy, man. I got a message. You said LeBron. I love it.
That's why I said we talk about the LeBron, MJ.
Oh, wait, where'd my guy go? Put him back on here. There you go. There you go. Don't leave. I love the answer. LeBron, the greatest of all time.
Oh,
I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to just give out my new favorite stat of LeBron's.
Mm-hmm.
He had $1 billion in the bank account.
Woo!
And influenced everything about the NBA. And they hated him for it. But come on. LeBron James.
Greatest player of all time.
And my honorable mention is MJ, because we all really know deep down it's MJ, but it's LeBron's time.
Wait, so I got I'll let everybody talk.
Conman.
Oh no, you know me. You know I'm gonna come correct. Now you name LeBron, you name whomever.
Magic.
I'm sure people gonna talk about Steph. Everything they have done, which has contributed greatly to the NBA game, but have they changed any rule?
Well,
not one of them. You can still shoot a 3-pointer. You can still be 6'9" and be a point guard. You can. Who changed the rule of the NBA? Who changed the impact of the inside game? And I keep going back to history. Jay's going to hate me, but if y'all know,
J.R. Smith.
First of all, Lou Alcindor, if we're going to go back to that, he changed the dunking rule. Yep. Now, if we want to go back, the circle underneath the basket?
Yeah.
That was the rule. Who did that? So the impact that Michael Jordan made, the impact that LeBron made, Steph Curry didn't change the rule. And as I tell y'all, the most improvements in the NBA are done outside of the court, not on the court. So my point being, those individuals changed the game because they changed the rule. Anybody can take a 3-point shot. Anybody can be 6'9" and be a point guard. Anybody can be Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, all that. But did he change a rule?
I mean, there's a lot. You did, but I mean, like, where the NBA be what it is today if it wasn't for those guys? I know what you're saying. You're saying anybody could do it. I want to agree with anybody, but I know what you're saying. A player did it, a rule being changed. But are we where we're at today if it's not for Magic, the Magic going to Michael, all these guys changing how the NBA is being played, and for it to go locally to globally? Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. Changing rules is phenomenal. I mean, Charles Barkley changed rules. Shaq changed rules. These are top 50 guys of all time.
What rules did they change? What rules did they change?
5 seconds to the basket. Did Charles Barkley not change that rule? Where now you only have 5 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds to have your back to the basket? Because he would back you down for 10 seconds.
Okay, but how much impact did that make in the game?
I mean, it made a lot. I mean,
how about dunking or non-dunking? How about
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. That's a big impact. But I mean, just to say anybody could be these guys,
All right, how about a player that changed not only the NCAA and the NBA? Lou Alcindor.
I'm not
Because
disagreeing with you, Con Man. I'm not
All
disagreeing.
right, I'm gonna back off. I'm gonna back off.
All right,
I'm sorry,
Mike.
Chris. I love you, man, but you hit me hot. I gotta go with that. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, man.
Okay, Mike.
I think my honorable mention, Steph Curry. I think he's changing the game completely, and you see, like Ron said a little bit earlier, but to a different degree, you're seeing centers start to shoot 10+ threes a game. You're starting to see very uncharacteristic individuals starting to chuck from the logo. I think that's very different. I think it's something where the game is never going to be the same, and Steph Curry is a big part of that. And to not take Rob Scott's answer, I will move on from my honorable mention, but I'm going to say Kobe. Just because outside of the game of basketball itself, you could see anything from the emo kid to the jock to the nerd, whoever it is. You roll up a ball, a piece of paper, and shoot it into a trash can.
Kobe.
That kid's not yelling Magic Johnson. That kid's not yelling whoever the hell Michael named. But it's definitely something to where I feel like Kobe changed the game so much. And when that man passed, unfortunately, the world. Honestly, it was the first time in a very long time, probably since Michael Jackson had passed away, that the earth stood still. And I feel like everybody in the world felt that, whether you were a basketball fan or not. Everybody and their mama knows Kobe.
I agree with you, Mike, 100%. But that's evolution. That's evolution.
Right, and I think it's a big part of it, though, to where it's more than just who changed the rules or who's changing the game itself, but who does everybody in the game know. And I think there's two individuals, and you could say that's Michael.
Well,
Jordan.
you know them because he's more relevant because he's more in current times. So the newer generations know that, right? I mean, that's why he's the most relevant. So that's why. But I mean, people like Elgin Baylor. You don't know of Elgin Baylor?
I know.
Mike Hughes, you know of Elgin Baylor?
I think.
No, hold on. I'm just asking real quick. Mike Hughes, you know of Elgin Baylor?
Yes, sir. And I'm telling you right now.
You know what Elgin Baylor went through in the game of basketball during the civil rights movements and all that he had to endure, and the fact that he was a prolific scorer, he had different kinds of moves, and what he did to influence Michael Jordan and the Kobe Bryants of today's generation. Hold on, Mike. Let me finish now. Don't interrupt me because I wouldn't interrupt you. Hold on now.
You do interrupt me, sir.
What Elgin Baylor and the forefathers did for the game of basketball a lot of times gets watered down and overlooked because all you really know or care about is what you see in today's basketball. But let's not forget the past, because the past is what set the future in motion. And for
I love you, Jay.
That, sir, is a damn travesty, and I won't let your watered down version of what you think basketball is, because you see it from 1990 or 1986 on, and that's all you really know. I'm sorry, man. I feel bad for you, brother, and you're uneducated.
And, sir, where I was going to cut you off from the beginning before you were disrespectful as fuck.
It's okay. I don't mind being disrespectful as fuck. Let's go.
Hey, that's cool. But what I was going to tell you is just because you've done all that, I look at Jackie Robinson as someone who I admire and someone I look up to. But when I think of the face of basketball, I don't think of Jackie Robinson because he wasn't all that as a ball player. He was a good ball player, and he did a lot for the game of basketball.
All of a sudden, you're comparing Jackie Robinson. You say he's not all that.
You're talking about
Elgin Baylor wasn't a basketball player. Is that what you're trying to say to me?
But you're talking about all this other shit from the past, and it has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. I didn't disrespect.
It has absolutely everything to do with the conversation.
Who did I disrespect?
What was the question?
Hey, Rob, here's what happened. They said, who changed the game of basketball and who's the face of basketball? I said Kobe Bryant, and somehow I'm an uneducated fuck who doesn't think.
No, I didn't say Kobe Bryant, wasn't doing things, but you got to who influenced Kobe Bryant? Probably Michael Jordan. Who influenced Michael Jordan? Elgin Baylor. I think you forget where the forefronts were because you were in that time period. But you do know Elgin Baylor, right?
So the question is, who has changed the game? I mean, that's hard to answer.
There's no wrong answer with that. Everybody's answer was right.
NBA player.
And I agree with Chris Brown. Chris Brown, that's a good point. I do. I agree with that.
There's several NBA players that changed the game. I mean, Dr. J created the Michael Jordans of the world.
No, he did not. You're wrong. You're wrong. Again, you're wrong.
Mike, let me just
finish. It wasn't Dr. J. It was Tony Hawkins.
Can I finish my statement? Can I finish my statement? I know about the Skywalker. I know about the Skywalker.
I said Tony Hawkins, not Dr. I didn't say David Thompson.
They want Dr. J. Dr. J is who Mike looked up to. It's documented. He didn't look at Connie Hawkins. He looked at Dr. J. Go listen to Michael Jordan interviews. You will see that you were wrong in that endeavor, my
And you're wrong again. Michael Jordan looked at David Thompson. Who you think inducted into the Hall of Fame, bro? You're talking to the wrong guy, bro. I'm not the one. I know my stuff, bro. Go look who inducted him to the Hall of Fame. It wasn't Dr. J. It was David Thompson. They're both from North Carolina. Oh, my God.
My answer is Steph Curry has changed the game. If we look at nowadays, if we look at what these kids are doing, if you go to any pickup game,
threes for days,
foul game, these kids are shooting from half. Everybody wants to be a shooter. Steph Curry is relatable. He's relatable probably to everybody on this panel. Nobody can dunk like Mike. Nobody can dunk like LeBron.
Steph Curry too weak for me. He need to get away.
You feel like you can do what Steph can do. You can shoot the long range ball. If you can practice on your handle, you feel like you can get enough space to get the shot off. And that's what these kids are relating to. You look at the LaMelo Balls of the world. You look at the Dame Dollars of the world. I mean, these dudes, man, to me, Steph is the trendsetter. He's made shooting logo threes popular, and that's what these kids want to do now.
Rob, before you come out, bro,
you get more kids now for shooting threes than getting a good dunk.
Can I say one thing? Why are you shooting threes if you know how to shoot twos? If you're really gonna learn the game, you shoot from under the basket, and
because
you work
3 is more than 2, sir.
I was going to say the same.
Hey, Mike, man, I'm gonna start putting you in the same category.
Based on what Chris Brown said, and I really agree with what Chris Brown said. I think here's the deal. A lot of people have changed the game of basketball from era to era. Everybody changed the game of basketball. And somebody else from this point where Steph Curry and everybody is to the next level of basketball players, they're going to change the game of basketball. So to say that one person probably did it is probably hard to do because the game of basketball has changed with each and every person. Right. So, yeah, so you probably have multiple people that have changed the game of basketball, to be honest with you.
All right, let me get my
folks, can I say one more thing? I'm out. I referee. I start refereeing again Monday. I've been doing it for 25 years.
I thought it was 30. Last time I heard it was 30. Is it 25 or 30?
Can you hear me out? I see kids, because I referee AAU, high school, and these kids are taking 3-point shots all the time, and they don't even know how to shoot 2 points. I do basketball clinics. Me and Avery Bradley done bat. I'm telling you, that 3-point shot is evolutional. But if you don't know how to shoot a layup, if you don't know how to do a George Mikan rule, if you can't shoot from 3-4 feet out, how the hell are you going to take a 3-point shot? If you can master that, that's fine. But in that 3-point shot is great to make these kids shoot 3. You know something? The kids come to the pop. All they do is shoot 3-pointers. No layups, no left hand, no right hand, no ambidextrous, no dribble right hand. It's all 3-pointers.
Comment. I have a serious question, comment, and it's why is and I've done a George Mikan drill because when I'm growing up, I was always one.
Wow, you know about that. You know about that. But
why is that called the George Mikan drill? He's shooting 40% from the field. Did he shoot jumpers too? That's a serious question. All layups 40%?
No, what it was, the drill was to establish your right hand and your left hand.
Okay, that's all I want to know. No, it helped. It helped my left hand. I was just curious because his field goal percentage is atrocious as a center. But that drill definitely. I'm with you. People don't know how to do mid ranges no more. They don't know any post moves no more. But that's why it's so. That's why it's so changing. That's why the Steph Curry answer might be the best. Because look how he changed the game from the simple fundamentals. Nobody wants to do them no more because they want to be like Steph.
Right, and fellas, right? I'm 6 feet tall. I wasn't quick. I couldn't jump. I couldn't shoot that good, but I knew the fundamentals. I knew if I couldn't outshoot you, outjump you, I'm outthink you, and that comes with fundamentals. So I'm gonna show y'all a film when I'm out there refereeing this week. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about, and then that should end. Well, the kids are not that talented.
To me, the most.
Hey, are you refereeing? Are you refereeing this?
Let me say my point. Every time I say my point, you jump in, sir.
Because we all know.
Why is it me? Why are you singling out me? Everybody else been talking. Why aren't you singling out them? Not what? All of a sudden, what? The white guy? What the hell?
Here you go, Jay. Here you go.
Yeah, I rep a league with 1,000 kids every summer. 1,000 kids.
The player that's been most influencing to me is LeBron James, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's nothing even to do. It's nothing to do on the basketball court. It's all about player empowerment. He has stepped in and he showed players that, hey, that the franchise that drafted you is not willing to put a team around you. If not helping you win, it is okay to dictate your future. It is okay to say, okay, well, let's take my talent here, aka Kevin Durant. We see a Donovan Mitchell in Utah with the question this past week. When is he ready to move? But he has showed the players today that it is okay to move around, that everybody can't be Kobe, everybody can't be Dirk Nowitzki, everybody's not those guys. Chris, you got your hand raised.
I mean, that just takes away from the whole question. I thought we were talking about like the skill of the game. I mean, if I knew that was the base of the question, obviously LeBron James, but I want to take it back to guys like Oscar. You know, I would have went there with it. What the difference Oscar Robertson made for the NBA. But I'm not disagreeing.
Don't let me go there, Chris. You already know I'm
not disagreeing with you, Freddie. I feel like that might be the best answer because not only did he do that for the NBA, look at guys in the NFL taking their own career in their own hands that were never doing that. So, Freddie, I'm agreeing with you this one time. Then I'm back. Don't count on it again.
See, ladies and gentlemen, that's how real talk used to be. I used to let Chris do all the talking back in the day, and then I interject.
You were never right. I have a witness, Jay McLovin, who is right 9 times out of 10, me or Freddie?
Freddie is not ever right. Ever. Chris Brown all day, every day. It's just that Freddie had a lot of emotion behind everything he said. As wrong as he was, he would never let you know that. He was going to back it up no matter what. Chris Brown, we all know, man. You were the original stat guy. So I'm gonna stay.
Absolutely. Chris is the guy.
Has Jay been drinking again?
No, Jay's completely sober, sir. Ask my counselor.
No, that's just Jay. But don't make Jay mad though. He gonna come up on that screen.
Hey, Rob, you better have your ass on unscripted tonight to talk about these Lakers.
I'm going to try. I took my L like a man.
I know. Hey, it's all good. And you did, Rob. You really did take your L like a man. Seriously.
Hey, good game to the Celtics. Hey, like I said, Draymond got to learn to shut. He got to learn to shut up. Shut up. Stop. Don't entice Jaylen Brown to go crazy.
This has been another great episode of ASAP in the Morning. Want to thank Jay, Mike, Conman, Rob, Chris, and Ron for coming on this morning. And we got a lot of great episodes tonight. We got the afternoon show. We got Real Talk. Hey, just stay tuned to those as well. We'll be back here in the morning for ASAP in the Morning. Hey, Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Central. Until then, until next time, we are out.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces.